All right, today we're going to break down a word we hear all the time: obesity. What does it actually mean, medically speaking? We're going to dive into the science behind it, using some great info from BBC Bite Size to explore how it's measured, what it means for our health, and most importantly, the simple, practical steps we can all take toward living a healthier life.
So, let's start with a question you've probably wondered about. We hear the words overweight and obese thrown around, sometimes like they're the same thing. But in the medical world, they have very specific, different meanings. Getting this distinction down is kind of the first step to understanding the bigger picture. Okay, here's our game plan. We'll start with a solid definition, then get into how it's measured, look at the simple science behind what causes it, understand the health risks, and then, the best part, we'll focus on positive things you can actually do. So let's jump right in.
So first things first, what is obesity? It is so important to have a clear, straight-up definition. We're looking at this from a health and science perspective, so we're taking all judgment out of it and just focusing on the facts.
As you can see, obese is a medical term, a diagnosis, and the absolute key part of this definition is that last bit, that their health might be affected. This isn't about how someone looks, it's about a level of body fat that could potentially impact their long-term well-being.
A school fitness advisor really puts it perfectly here. It's about excess body fat, sure, but the solution isn't just one thing. It's a two-part puzzle: what you eat and how you move. A balanced diet and daily exercise are truly equally important.
Okay, so how do doctors and health professionals figure this out? It's not just a guess. One of the most common tools they use is something called the Body Mass Index, or BMI. Let's take a closer look at what that actually is. BMI is short for Body Mass Index, and it's really just a simple tool that uses your height and weight to calculate a score, giving a general idea of whether you're in a healthy weight range. Now, it's important to know it's not a perfect measurement. For example, it can't tell the difference between muscle and fat. That's why it's used as a starting point, a way to begin a bigger conversation about health.
This chart shows you exactly how those BMI scores are broken down. Anything under 25 is generally considered a healthy weight. The range from 25 up to 30 falls into the overweight category. Once you hit a BMI of 30, that's where the classification obese begins, and a score over 40 is considered very obese.
And the formula itself? It looks kind of sciencey, but it's pretty straightforward. You take your mass in kilograms and you divide it by your height in meters squared. Let's see what that actually looks like with a real-world example.
So, say you have a person who weighs 60 kilograms and is 1.65 meters tall. You plug those numbers into the formula and you get a BMI of 22. If you remember that chart we just looked at, that number falls right in the middle of the healthy weight range. Simple as that. So we've defined obesity, and we know how it's measured. But what's the underlying cause? Well, it really all comes down to a very basic principle: the energy balance equation.
Think of it like this. Energy in is all the calories you get from the food and drinks you consume. Energy out is all the calories your body burns, and that's not just from exercise. It's also the energy you use for everything, from your heart beating to your brain thinking. When the energy in is consistently more than the energy out, your body stores that extra energy as fat.
So, how much energy do we actually need? Well, it varies a lot from person to person. You can see here, for example, that a 13-year-old boy who's growing and very active might need more energy than an adult woman. When someone regularly takes in more energy than their body is using, that imbalance over time can lead to obesity. And this brings us to probably the most important question of all. Why does any of this matter? Well, from a medical standpoint, the main concern with obesity is that it's directly linked to a much higher risk of some very serious, long-term health problems. This fitness advisor really lays it out clearly. Being in the obese range isn't just a number on a chart. It means a person's risk for major medical events like heart attacks, strokes, and type 2 diabetes goes way up. And unfortunately, the risks don't stop there. The scientific evidence is really strong. Obesity significantly increases the chances of developing heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and even some types of cancer. This is why it's so incredibly important to think about maintaining a healthy weight for our future selves. Okay, we've talked about the what, the how, and the why. But now for the most important part. What can we do? Let's switch gears and focus on the positive, practical steps we can all take to build and maintain a healthy lifestyle. This is the empowering part. You know, the solution isn't some crazy fad diet or an impossible workout plan. It really comes back to those two pillars we talked about at the beginning: eating a balanced, nutritious diet and getting regular physical activity. The real secret ingredient? Consistency.
And getting more active doesn't have to mean hitting the gym for 2 hours every day. It's about finding little ways to move more in your daily life, like walk to school with a little more pep in your step, always choose the stairs over the elevator, or hey, try getting off the bus one stop early. These little changes really add up.
So to bring it all home, the Fitness Advisor offers 3 fantastic tips. First, find activities that you actually enjoy doing. If it's fun, you'll stick with it. Second, focus on that balanced, healthy diet. And third, and this one's a game changer, make it a family thing. When everyone's on board, you create this amazing support system. So we'll leave you with this one question to think about. This isn't about a massive, instant change. It's about small steps. So based on everything we've talked about, what's just one healthy choice you can make for yourself, starting right now, today?